So, dear brothers and sisters, today is the feast of Saint Blaise, who was a bishop in Armenia, modern-day Turkey, bishop of Sebast. And the governor there, hearing of his preaching and hearing of his teaching and hearing of all this call to conversion, this call to put God in the first place, this call to follow God's law, saw Saint Blaise as a threat and had him arrested, had his skin raked off effectively with iron combs, and then eventually had him beheaded. So even though the gospel we are at today is the beheading of John the Baptist, it's the reading from, it's the gospel from ordinary time, it's not the gospel from the feast of the saint, and yet it is quite appropriate, quite apt for the saint of today as well. This is a little book that I consult sometimes in a bit of a panic in the mornings, checking the saint of the day. And this has the saints for the whole year in a volume that big. So you get about a page per saint. And it's good for emergencies. It's good if just kind of the last minute, I just need some basic dates, basic facts, just who is the saint at all. And yet, a book like this, how on earth can it do justice to more than 300 saints, more than 360 saints? This book wouldn't do justice to one saint. If you went into detail like about any one particular saint, a saint. So a saint is a person who lived heroic virtue. So anybody who's lived heroic virtue, a saint isn't someone who's just had a solid prayer life and they were a nice person. They've lived virtue to some virtue to a heroic degree. So in the cause of a saint, when they're looking to see if a person should be canonized, this is what they're looking for: heroic virtue. Not just did they manage to avoid major sins, but did they live any virtue in a heroic manner? Again, it's not about levitation, it's not about bilocation, but did they live virtue to a heroic degree? Now, if they did, then a book like this would never capture their lives. If you you think of all the hidden sacrifices that good parents make. Also losing a night's sleep and up changing nappies, and you think of all the sacrifices like that good priests make. Praying for their people and going out on house calls and sick calls in schools, and you think of all of the sacrifices that dedicated lay people of faith make. All of the voluntary organizations and trying to stir up the faith or start catechesis or prayer groups or pilgrimages or all those kind of things that go on behind the scenes. There's so much that goes on in any one person's life. If and when we have to go, it's not a if, when we have, after we're gone, what will we be remembered for? What will people say about you after you're gone? After you've died? What will people say about you? I've been to a few funerals recently, and it's a question that has come up for me. Like, what will I be remembered for? And this isn't about us seeking fame or seeking notoriety, but imagine if you're a sports person, you're an athlete, you excel in some sport. Would it be enough to be remembered for that? Because keep in mind, your average footballer these days, their career more or less winds up at 30-ish. Very rare to find anyone in the Premiership over 30, maybe 32, 33. Well, there's no one over 40. I'm right, aren't I? More or less. Yeah. Your career in the Premiership is finished by the time mid-30s at the latest. Okay? So then what? You have another 50 years of life, 60 years of life. So if all of you're remembered for is back in the day you were good at football, that's nice, okay? And what about today? What am I today? Or you think of some people famous for being pretty. Think of your Marilyn Monroe's, your Sophia Loren's back in the day, a long time ago now. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay. You're too young. But they were very famous ladies of the 70s. Just famous for being pretty, really. They were actresses as well. But is that it? Because again, beauty will fade. So if all you're known for is being the pretty one, is that going to be enough for you? What will you be remembered for? Because your biography is being written today. Your biography is already being written. It's being written by your actions. It's being written by your choices. It's being written by what you choose to do with your 24 hours. Your biography is being written. What do you want to be remembered for? Because what you do matters, and what you decide matters. And if you pray, it matters. And if you choose virtue, it matters. Everything matters. Your biography is being written. So, like for me, what do I want to be remembered for? You think your average, like, I haven't had this experience, but your average dad, we've been doing a bit of a course here with our lads about discovering the masculine journey and discovering what it means to be a man. And some of the testimonies that we've watched to this particular program are very, very interesting, very poignant, because you've got men who are, capable, competent, athletic, strong-looking fellas, and yet there's a woundedness inside, maybe from their own background, their own families, their own parents, their own dads especially, and you can see the desire in them now. I just want to be a good dad. I just want to be a good husband. Anything else I achieve is a bonus. But if I'm only remembered for being the good carpenter, my life has been wasted. If I haven't been a good husband, if I haven't been a good father, what on earth have I achieved? Everything else, who cares? So I think it really is important at times to give ourselves a bit of a shake-up, because there are so many distractions out there. There are. Obviously, when we're young, school, university, and first job are very important. But then once life starts to settle down, what is it all? Where are we going? What's it all for? Because the focus in today's culture will not be the best mother you can be the best father you can be the best priest you can be the best man you can be the best woman you can be. That will never come up. It'll be all you can be, maybe. That's a lot of bees. Be all you can be. But with this idea of, be a self-made man, a self-realized man, as opposed to be what you're called to be. Be what God is asking you to be. Be the father, mother, priest, single person, whatever it is. Be the person you are called to be and serve where you are called to serve. Blossom where you are planted. So we ask the Lord today, through the prayers and intercession of Saint Blaise, that we, as he did, that we can recognize the importance of every single day. I'm sure Saint Blaise knew that it was dangerous, it was risky to be a bishop where and when he lived. Could he have escaped? It's well possible. Could he have gone abroad or found somewhere safer to save his life? Probably. But he chose to stay. And he was captured, tortured and killed. All for love of Christ. And this is what he is remembered for. For being a bishop, for being a martyr, for being someone who gave his life to Christ. He did not think that 16 centuries later we would be talking about him in Ireland. He probably didn't even know where Ireland was. And he definitely didn't know where America was, because we hadn't found you yet. But his choice that day was to stay, be arrested, and stay faithful to the Lord until the end. Your biography is being written today. We ask through his prayers and intercession that we may be faithful to what the Lord is calling us to today. Amen.